The film begins with Jabir Makarov, a retired assassin who has traded violence for a quiet life with his young daughter, Eva. In a touching moment, Jabir watches Eva dance and tells her she reminds him of her older sister, someone Eva barely remembers. As a token of love and hope, he gives her a music box featuring a ballerina, symbolizing the peace and innocence he desperately wants for her. But that fragile peace is shattered later that night. A team of armed intruders storms their home. Jabir, relying on his old skills, puts up a fierce fight as Eva hides in fear. Despite his past as a deadly operative, the odds are against him. Eventually, their leader emerges, a cold and calculating man named Chislov. During a tense confrontation, it's revealed that Jabir once married Chislov's daughter and escaped with Eva to protect her from a violent upbringing. Now, Chislov has come to claim what he believes is rightfully his. He presents Jabir with a cruel choice: surrender and let Eva live, or resist and risk both their lives. As Jabir prepares to take his own life for his daughter's safety, Eva panics and calls out to him, exposing herself. The standoff escalates into another explosive fight. Chislov flees the scene, leaving his men behind. One of them targets Jabir, but Eva, seizing a moment of courage, picks up a fallen weapon and kills the attacker, saving her father's life. Wounded and out of time, Jabir quickly sets explosive traps throughout the house. With Eva at his side, he manages to escape, though he's severely injured. Moments later, the house erupts in flames, taking out most of the assassins, except Chislov, who had already slipped away. Sadly, Jabir's injuries are too severe. He dies shortly after getting Eva to safety. The next scene finds Eva at a police station, devastated and alone. That's when Winston appears, a familiar figure to fans of the Jon Wick series. If you don't know him, don't worry, his role here is brief. For full background, check out our Jon Wick, Chapter 1 recap linked in the description. Winston speaks kindly to Eva, telling her that her father tried to give her the life he could never have, one free of bloodshed. Though Winston admits he can't offer her that life either, he can guide her toward people who might. He brings Eva to the Ruska Roma, a secretive and formidable syndicate known for training assassins but also providing lost souls with a new sense of belonging. As fate would have it, Jabir himself was once part of this very group. After bringing Eva to the Ruska Roma, Winston introduces her to their leader, the director. With a nod of farewell, he leaves the young girl in their care. From that moment on, Eva begins a new life, one built on discipline, danger, and purpose. She trains relentlessly, not just in combat and weaponry, but also in ballet, blending grace with lethality. Every movement she masters, every lesson she learns, brings her closer to a single goal: avenging her father's death. Years pass, and Eva grows into a formidable young woman. Her final trial approaches, a brutal test designed to simulate real combat. She must build a weapon faster than her opponent and eliminate them. Facing off against another ballerina in training, Eva keeps her focus and proves her superiority, completing the task with precision. The transformation is now complete. Eva is no longer just a student. She is a weapon. Soon after, a familiar face from the underworld arrives at the Ruska Roma, Jon Wick himself. He's there for his own reasons, unrelated to Eva, but she notices him and is drawn to him. Curious and hungry for direction, she approaches Jon and asks how to begin walking the same path he walks. Jon looks at her and says, "Looks like you already have." He tells her the road she's choosing leads only to darkness, and there's still time for her to step away. Eva, desperate to understand, asks, "Then why didn't you?" With quiet regret, Jon simply says, "I'm trying to," before walking away. Now officially an assassin, Eva begins taking on real missions, both offensive and protective. Each assignment sharpens her instincts and builds her reputation. But during one contract, something changes. After eliminating a target, she notices a strange symbol engraved on the man's hand. The mark instantly triggers a memory. It's the same symbol she saw on the hands of the assassins who murdered her father. Disturbed, Eva returns to the Ruska Roma and confronts the director, bringing the severed hand with the symbol as evidence. She demands to know the truth. The director explains that the symbol belongs to a shadowy faction that exists outside the accepted rules of the assassin world. They owe loyalty to no one and operate under their own violent code. No one bothers them, and in return, they don't interfere with others. Eva presses further, asking why such a group would come after her as a child. The director refuses to say more, offering only a warning: "If you go down this road, you won't find justice, only destruction. I forbid you from pursuing them." But Eva's heart is set on vengeance, and she cannot let it go. Determined to uncover the truth, Eva heads to the Continental Hotel during the New Year's celebration and seeks out Winston once again. She shows him the symbol and asks what he knows. Winston explains that these people aren't part of the typical contract-based system. They don't kill for payment or purpose, they kill for spectacle. They exist in a realm beyond the traditional codes of assassins. Although little is known about them, Winston reveals that one such individual is currently staying at a branch of the Continental, specifically, the Park Continental Hotel. His name is Daniel Pine, and there's a massive bounty on his head. Winston gives Eva the man's file, and without hesitation, she checks into the hotel to track him down. That night, Eva sneaks into Daniel's room, prepared to strike, but what she finds stops her cold. Daniel isn't alone. He's with his young daughter. Inside the Continental, Eva comes face to face with Daniel Pine. Tension hangs in the air as he asks her what she wants. Eva doesn't threaten him, she only seeks the truth. She tells him about the symbol he bears, the same one worn by the assassins who took her father's life. She needs answers. Before Daniel can say anything, a sudden development changes everything. The bounty on his head surges dramatically. Word spreads quickly, and the fragile rules of the Continental are shattered as armed mercenaries break in, hoping to claim the reward. These intruders are no ordinary killers, they belong to the same rogue faction Eva has been hunting. Their mission is twofold: eliminate Daniel and abduct his daughter. A violent shootout erupts inside the hotel. Caught in the chaos, Daniel turns to Eva in desperation. He pleads with her to protect his daughter, promising to tell her everything she wants to know if she gets the girl to safety. Eva agrees, and the two begin a harrowing escape attempt. But things spiral out of control. Daniel is shot, and in the heat of the firefight, a mysterious young woman ambushes Eva, knocking her unconscious. By the time Eva comes to, Daniel's daughter is gone, taken by the attackers. Security from the Continental intervenes soon after and manages to detain two of the assassins who tried to reach Eva's room. Because Eva hadn't broken the sacred rules, she didn't kill anyone on Continental grounds, she spared punishment. The captured intruders, however, are executed for violating hotel protocol. Still fueled by grief and fury, Eva seeks answers elsewhere. She visits a black market weapons dealer and questions him about the symbol. The man refuses to cooperate. As he distracts her with firearms and smooth talk, danger closes in. Members of the marked group have tracked her down. They attack the shop with lethal intent, not just because of who she is, but because she dared to side with Daniel. A vicious close-quarters battle breaks out inside the cramped store. Eva fights with deadly skill, taking them down one after another. The shop is left in ruins. Enraged by the destruction, the owner finally breaks his silence. He gives Eva the location of a place connected to the marked killers. Without wasting time, she heads there. Eva arrives in a remote town, but something feels off. Unknown to her, she's already under surveillance. She walks into a quiet coffee shop, but before she can sit down, the attack begins. Every patron turns hostile, it's a trap. The entire town is in on it. She holds her ground as the ambush unfolds, fighting her way out against overwhelming odds. Bloodied but unbroken, she manages to escape capture. From a hidden vantage point, one of Chislov's men observes the fight and reports back. Chislov, now aware that Eva is alive and targeting his people, gives the command, full-scale elimination protocol. An urgent broadcast is sent out, residents are ordered to evacuate. The mission is clear: find and destroy Eva. Chaos erupts as the town transforms into a battlefield. Armed enemies pour in from all directions. Eva defends herself with relentless force, felling one attacker after another, but the numbers eventually catch up to her. Surrounded and outgunned, she prepares for the worst. Then, the same mysterious girl who ambushed her earlier steps forward, ready to strike. But something makes her stop. She notices the Ruska Roma tattoo on Eva's arm. Realization dawns, and she halts the attack, retreating quickly to inform Chislov of what she's seen. Moments later, Chislov himself appears. Calm and composed, he approaches Eva, speaking with the authority of a man who believes he's already won. He tells her about his history with the director of Ruska Roma. Though their philosophies clashed, he respected her commitment to order. Eva, still bloodied but defiant, cuts him off. She makes it clear, she didn't come on anyone's orders. This isn't about Ruska Roma. It's personal. Chislov, unfazed by Eva's defiance, lets out a cold, amused laugh. Then it does now, he says, implying that if she came alone, she's now representing more than just herself. He accuses her of coming for the child, his granddaughter, and calls her actions a fatal misstep. According to him, everything she sees, the fortress, the people, this entire compound, belongs to that little girl. His son had tried to rob her of her birthright by fleeing with her, and now Eva, unknowingly, has walked right into the heart of that legacy. This isn't just a village, Chislov says. It's a sanctuary. A home for people like us. Haven't you ever wanted to build your own family? Eva's voice hardens. I had one, she snaps. And when I was a child, your people invaded my home, murdered my father, and tried to take me. For the first time, Chislov truly looks at her. Something shifts in his expression, recognition. He calls over the young woman who had previously attacked Eva, the same one who spared her after seeing the Ruska Roma tattoo. Her name is Lena Makarov. Then, Chislov drops a bombshell. Years ago, he killed the man who had stolen his daughter and their child, Jabir Makarov. That child was Eva. And Lena? She's Eva's older sister. The two women, stunned, barely have time to process the truth before the room explodes into chaos. Gunfire breaks out as Eva launches an assault on Chislov's guards. Reinforcements charge in, and amid the crossfire, one of the men raises his weapon behind Eva. But Lena, acting on instinct, shoots him first, saving her sister's life. Eva seizes the opportunity and escapes the room, with Lena close behind. They take shelter in a nearby house, where for the first time, the two sisters share a quiet, bittersweet moment. They talk about the lives they lost, the lies they were told, and the bloodline that binds them together despite everything. But the calm doesn't last long. Enraged by what he sees as betrayal from both women, Chislov orders a brutal assault. Grenades are hurled into the house, shattering the walls and filling the air with fire and smoke. Eva is badly injured. Lena, too, is wounded beyond recovery. As the dust settles, Lena leans against Eva, barely conscious, and whispers with a weak smile, "I missed you so much," before dying in her sister's arms. Moments later, a team of Chislov's assassins enters the wrecked building to finish the job. But they find Eva standing, bloodied, furious, and armed. With a katana in hand and vengeance in her heart, she strikes with terrifying precision. One by one, she cuts them down in a storm of violence fueled by pain and loss. Back at the command center, Chislov waits for a status report. He asks if the mission is complete. A voice responds, not from his men, but from Eva herself. "It'll be complete," she says coldly, "when you're dead." Realizing that things are spiraling out of control, Chislov makes a direct call to the director of Ruska Roma. He accuses her of breaking a sacred, centuries-old truce between their two factions. But the director remains calm. "Ruska Roma seeks no war, not with you, not with anyone," she replies. Chislov is unmoved. "Whether you sent her or not is irrelevant," he says. "You'll be held responsible for every one of her actions. If you don't pull her back, prepare for war." The director's response is slow and heavy. "Eva no longer acts under our banner. She chose her path. We do not control her." Then, with a note of hope, she adds, "But maybe. There's still a way to avoid bloodshed. I'll send someone who might end this. Without another war." And so, the director makes her move. She sends the one man who might be able to stop Eva without destroying her, Jon Wick. When Jon finally finds her, Eva stands her ground. Her body is battered, her face bruised, but her spirit remains unshaken. "Are you here to kill me?" she asks. Jon looks at her quietly. "That depends on you. You can still walk away," he says. "The choice is yours." But Eva is past the point of retreat. Her voice is sharp. "I'm not going anywhere," she replies, and pulls the trigger. Bullets fly, but Jon dodges. He doesn't retaliate. If he wanted to end the fight, he could have done it in seconds. But he doesn't. He doesn't want to kill her. Still, he tries again. "Leave. There's still time." Eva holds his gaze. "He murdered my father." Jon nods, not in disagreement, but with grim understanding. "I know. Then let me finish this," she says quietly, her voice a mix of pain and purpose. Jon pauses for a long moment. Then gives her 30 minutes. What follows is chaos. A brutal, high-stakes final assault. Eva charges into Chislov's compound like a storm, cutting through guards, dodging death at every turn. Blood stains the halls, bodies fall. At one point, she's nearly overwhelmed, but Jon steps in, just enough to keep her alive. He honors his word, he won't stop her, but he won't let her fall. Chislov, sensing his reign unraveling, tries to escape. But Eva is faster. She intercepts his vehicle with gunfire, forcing him to stop. This time, there's no long speech, no more questions, only justice. She ends it. With Chislov's death, the long shadow cast over her past finally lifts. Eva takes the little girl, his granddaughter, the same child she once saved, and vanishes into the night. Later, The director reaches out to Jon with a single question: is she dead? Jon doesn't answer directly. Instead, he says, he's dead. The director understands. That's all she needed to hear. Good, she replies before ending the call. In the film's final moments, we see Daniel Pine reunited with his daughter. Eva had returned the child safely before disappearing. Her actions were not just about vengeance, but redemption. But peace comes at a cost. News spreads quickly: a $5 million bounty is placed on Eva Makarov's head. The hunt has just begun.